Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, the Women's International Perspective, or the WIP as many of you may know it by, opened its doors in 2007, and for the past 7 years has relied on the generosity of donors like you to keep publishing the unique perspectives of women from around the globe. The WIP is at a critical point in its history right now, because recently we were able to form a partnership with the Monterey Institute of International Studies. This partnership has opened doors and opportunities that we have only dreamed of before in the past. And we are asking you to be a part of that future with the WIP by making a donation today. For those of you who have donated in the past, you may be wondering, what happened to the money I donated before? And if I donate again, what will happen to that money? And for those of you who have not donated or have not heard of the WIP before, you may be wondering, well, why would I want to give you my money in the first place? So that's what I'm here to tell you today. So why should you donate to the WIP? What the WIP does differently is we tell the stories from the people who are experiencing them as it happens. It's very easy for me to tell you that you should donate because I have a personal tie to the WIP. The WIP offers a platform for women around the world to publish stories that matter to them and to their communities. And it was on this platform that I was able to finally share the story of my mother's experience with domestic violence and how that shaped my family. I published this story nearly 10 years after she passed away, and it was a large part of the healing process for me. On a more professional note, the WIP does what's something that mainstream media outlets like the New York Times and the Huffington Post fail to do. The WIP offers marginalized voices a chance to get their stories heard. A study by the Women's Media Center finds that across the 10 most popular news sources in the United States, only 37% of bylines are written by women. The WIP is trying to address this problem through the publication of our byline portal and feature articles, which are exclusively written by women. Now, our features are really what makes the WIP stand apart from other news organizations. Because every single woman who publishes has a personal tie to the story that they're telling, either because they've experienced it firsthand or have a friend or a family member that experienced it, or through their expertise, through years and years of study. So to really grasp why that's so important, I'd like all of you to take a moment and think about your proudest moment in your life, whether it be when you graduated from college or got a big job promotion, or maybe when you married your better half. Think about how you felt in that moment, the things that you saw, what was running through your mind, and what you remember the most about it. Now with that in mind, imagine having somebody else tell that story for you. Would that other person be able to fully explain what you were feeling in that moment? I don't think so. Because the best person to tell your story is you. And that's what we do at the WIP. So your donations help to bring people's stories to everybody. In the past, your donations have helped the WIP to organize countless events and bring many notable speakers to the Monterey Peninsula and other communities where the WIP was located in the past. In 2008, the WIP hosted an event at Columbia University and brought Nobel Peace Prize laureate Lema Bowie to speak about the critical role of women in peace building. At an International Women's Day celebration in 2010, former ambassador to UN Women, Linda Tarr-Whelan, came to speak about women in leadership. And in 2012, the host of NPR's Latino USA, Maria Hinojosa, came to Monterey to speak about being a Latina reporter in a time where Latina reporters were few and far between in the United States. Donations from donors like you also helped to bring Syrian contributor Alia Turki Al-Rabeyo to Monterey in 2013 to discuss the escalating Syrian crisis from the point of view of somebody who was living through it. And just last month, the WIP was able to bring best-selling author and former Wall Street banker Nomi Prings to Monterey to discuss the links between Wall Street and the White House. None of these events would have been possible without help from you. In the future, Some of your donations will go towards publishing more articles written by women. At this point, there have been over 850 original fact-check articles published on the WIP. So we'll bring you even more of these stories. Other donations will go to bring other fantastic speakers and events to the WIP's hometown of Monterey, California, which all of you will be able to attend. And most importantly, donations from people like you will help the WIP to reach places that we've never been able to reach before. Because your donations will allow the WIP to hire graduate assistants from the Graduate School of Translation, Interpretation, and Language Education at the Monterey Institute. So we will be able to work with women who have limited English proficiency to translate their articles into English so they can be published on a wider array of media. We'd also like to use that partnership to eventually translate all of our feature articles into multiple languages so everyone will have the chance to read them. Currently, the WIP is working on a pilot program with the Graduate Writing Center at the Monterey Institute to work with women who speak English but have issues with some of their writing and technical aspects of publishing. So this program will work with these women to develop the skills necessary to get their voices heard. So I'd really like to urge you, if you haven't made a donation in the past to the WIP, please consider making one. Because the WIP is extremely unique in the way that we publish and what we choose to publish. The WIP is a publication of the Monterey Institute of International Studies, a 501c3 organization, so all of your donations today are completely tax deductible. You can donate online at www.thewip.net/donate, or you can make your checks payable to the Monterey Institute of International Studies with the WIP in the memo line. So please consider making a donation today so the WIP can thrive tomorrow. Thank you.